What is going on, buddy? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to the first episode of my F1 23 Breaking Point 2 playthrough. Right, so back in 2021 when I first started making videos on this channel, one of the first things I did was Breaking Point, the original story on the F1 2021 game, and now we're returning 2 years later on the first day of F1 23's gameplay to see what goes on in Breaking Point 2. I'll play through the whole thing, chapter by chapter, until we reach the end. If you guys did miss the My Team video, I uploaded the first episode of that a couple hours ago. Make sure to go check one out before you see this one, or once you're done here, just be sure to check it out because it was quite an exciting episode. I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. So without further ado, we're going to jump right in. But first, let's take a step back to 2 years ago and just see what you guys missed in the last edition of Breaking.
Previously in Breaking Point.
Aiden, please tell us, how does it feel to be on the verge of getting behind the wheel for your very first race?
I feel like a little kid. I look around and I'm surrounded by my heroes.
And tell me about Casper Ackerman. How is that relationship coming along?
It wasn't my fault.
Well, whose fault was it then?
He tried to stop them from signing you. Didn't want to play babysitter. We all feel sorry for you, mate. You never stood a chance with him.
I had a call this morning from Christian Horner. You're being watched.
You know what his problem is, don't you? Thinks you're getting too old.
You want respect, you give respect! That's how it works!
How about you give me a little respect?
How about you earn it first? I'm done.
You what?
I'm retiring.
Why didn't it work out between you two?
He's on more money than me.
What? He didn't want me on the team.
Didn't I? And you thought I was past my best?
So none of this is true?
There's always gossip in the paddock. And ever since he's arrived, there's been one man at the center of it all. I want us to push for fourth. I want us to beat Butler. And I want that seat to go to you.
So Alfa Romeo potentially on track to really upset AlphaTauri here. Butler's closing in on Ackerman. Down the inside he goes, and they've hit each other. Butler into the barrier, and that looks to be the end of the race for him. The Dutchman looks to be continuing and...
It's great to see him still in this fight, Crofty.
Got the third, Aiden. What about Casper?
We let Aiden pass.
Let Aiden pass.
We did it.
We did it. Have you seen the crash yet?
Butler's okay?
Bruised ego, perhaps.
So that was a look back into the first edition of Breaking Point. Now get underway here. The first chapter of Breaking Point 2, the start of the Miami Grand Prix, several races into the 2022 season. An overhaul of the technical regulations marks the first major update to the sport for several years, but it's not only the new cars that are turning heads down in the paddock. So here we go then, first chapter, let's see what it's got to offer us.
What was it like bringing a brand new team to the F1 grid?
You know, the first time you see a car, your car, with your branding, your name on it, in an official race, alongside Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, that's what it's all about.
You make it sound like a dream come true.
If only.
When did you first get a sense of what was in store for Connor Sport?
2022 season, straight out of the box. The drivers were always going to clash. That was a calculated risk. But the car had problems.
We're midway through the Miami Grand Prix. It's been a cracking race so far, and it's all up for grabs.
Absolutely, Crofty. Some fantastic driving here today. Especially, I have to say, from Aiden Jackson. I don't think I've ever seen the Connor Sport car being put through its paces quite like this.
This is a team, Connor Sport, that have got a lot to prove this season, but Jackson might just be the man to do it.
Okay, Aiden, nice job so far. Let's try and bring that gap down to the car ahead if you can.
Copy that.
Here we go then, back behind the wheel, everyone's favourite Aiden Jackson for the second part of this Breaking Point story. Looking forward to getting this one underway. So starting back in P14, the objective is just to finish the race here in Miami, and our first target though is Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri, and this Sport car is dangerously quick for a new team. They're certainly not what they do in terms of straight line speed. Up the inside of Yuki and taking away P13 just like that, but Yuki comes back at us though with a poor exit from the left-hander. We almost had us going for a minute. We got a warning for a collision with them, still getting to grips with the handling more there and the use of course the traction control in that respect. So we've managed to get around him nice and easy. Got two targets in front of us there, Mick Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. So I'm liking the look of the game so far. This was the first few laps I turned on the game. So again, I'm liking how it is in terms of graphically, and of course we are dangerously quick right now. We're closing in rapidly on those two in front. Granted, we're on soft tyres, so I dare say to get a run about this last corner and going towards the main straight. So we come through the last left-hander on the circuit, the penultimate left-hander circuit rather, and we're going to use our straight line speed in general, and the DRS gets deployed for us on the main straight here. Getting it gets deployed now. Find a way past Schumacher. We'll try and find a way past Alonso, who breaks super early into turn number one. No idea what he was thinking there. We've managed to get around him nice and easy. He's made our job so much more easy there. So up into P11 now, and now pushing towards those points-paying places. Lando Norris and Valtteri Bottas. Our next two targets, we come back and step down this DRS straight, heading towards the stadium section once more. Both cars braking a lot earlier than we do. We've got a bit too deep as a result compared to them, but we've managed to hold the car this time round, so no contact like there was with Tsunoda last time round. So nearing the halfway stage of the race as a whole, we're up into P9 on our next target. Lewis Hamilton as we set the fastest lap on this Grand Prix. Soft tyres definitely doing their job right now. I see both Gasly and Ocon are coming to pit lane. Gasly's coming out just in front. You know, we might just beat him out here on the outside. Yes, we will. It's forced a bit wide here for this right-hander. We're closing on Lewis nonetheless. The look to the outside, up with the inside for the next left-hander. Side by side with the Brit as he goes into the corner. He's still on our right-hand side. Let's try and squeeze him out from our right-hand side, and we're up into P6 now. Doing a fantastic job here. This Sport car is rapid, if I'm being entirely honest with you. And now chasing down Sergio Perez towards the end of the lap number 8. There's just 6 more laps to go and we cross the line. Perez gets a terrible exit compared to us. But we use our battery to try and pull alongside him. We have to use our DRS here in order to really get good enough run and put the battery back on down the straight. We haven't got much bit left, so we have to conserve it for a little bit here in order to have a real push towards the leaders towards the end of the race. Passing Perez with relatively ease. We've even reached the braking zone here, and now we're up into P5 and chasing down Russell. It's only a second and a half in front. It's pushing to like number 9 now. Just a few more laps left to go in this thing. We are closing rapidly on George Russell in the other Mercedes. Look at the run we get here through this long sweeping right-hander and towards the next left. We're going to pull alongside Russell like we do with Hamilton here. He gets the edge going into the braking zone, so he's still in front of us. He's going to give us a real race here. Let's try and find another way around him. We go to the inside here on this next left-hander. Again, another long sweeping one here. And we're up into P4, taking advantage of Russell, taking the standard line. We move for a slightly more conventional line and take the pace away. So up in P4 now, just a few more laps left to go in this one, and I wonder if we have the pace to catch the leaders towards the end of this Grand Prix. It's going to be very close, but I say if this keeps up, we've got a very good chance here.
5 laps of fuel left.
I'm losing power! Why am I losing power?
Oh no.
Copy that, we see it, we're looking into it.
Oh, he's lost power, no!
Okay, I'm afraid you're going to have to retire the car, please, Aiden. Retire the car.
Oh, you're kidding, no.
You're joking! I'm
You
sorry,
are joking.
Aiden. Pull over now, please. Pull over now. This is getting ridiculous.
And that's agonising for Jackson. Just a few laps left to go, and he's out of the Miami Grand Prix.
With every race, the
start.
car looks like a constant problem for Sport. It must be devastating for the drivers.
Confirmation as the car comes to a halt, the Sport's Aiden Jackson won't be seeing the checkered flag today, but it looks like his teammate will. Jackson's DNF puts Devon Butler in a position where he might just be able to secure some points for Sport.
Aiden's out. Yep, engine problem, I'm afraid. Good job you got me. All right, Devon, don't push it too hard. We cannot risk losing both cars here.
It's in the bag, mate.
All okay, Aiden?
Yeah, how's Devon doing?
Yeah, he's doing all right, mate. He looks like he's going to bring home some points for the team.
Good for him.
I wish it wasn't good for him. I wish it wasn't in the bag. It's really annoying. Right then, end of the first chapter. Frustration. An engine issue forces Sport's Aiden Jackson to retire from the Miami Grand Prix, only a few laps from the end of the race.
If it's not one thing, then it's another. Did you not see what happened out there today?
Aiden, I agree with you 100%. We are doing everything we can. I know the car is not perfect, but...
Andreo, it's every race. Do you know how I look losing easy points like this?
Knock, knock.
Oh,
Sounds like there's a right show going on in here. What am I missing?
of all the people.
Aiden and I were just discussing issues with the car.
Again? I thought that was all in hand. I had no problems today. Smooth. You know what they say? A shoddy workman always blames his tools. Mate. You can look at my setup data anytime you want. I've told you that. It might help.
And I've told you before, it's not a setup issue. The problem is...
Jackson. That was the problem with the 2022 season.
That's a brilliant transition.
Ask anyone. I mean, at the end of 21, everyone thought Aiden was going to be signed by one of the big three. But, guess they couldn't reach an agreement, so we both signed for Connorsport.
And do you think that affected Aiden?
That's no secret. Now, for that 22 season, Jackson was a nightmare.
You'll want to talk. God, the fact he's more photorealistic now makes me want to punch him even more. Right, back in the career hub. Looking forward to seeing what else is available. So I've got some new stuff here. So performance and reputation levels are hopefully going to go up a bit more towards the next couple of episodes. We're both at level 1 right now, but the finish helped us to an extent. Look at the news here. So uphill struggles at Connorsport. The challenges of setting up a Formula 1 team. Oh, we have a phone call here. That's from Andreo. So I have to answer that.
Aiden, hey, I wanted to give you a heads up. Now look, the crew has shared the latest telemetry data with us.
Fine, but I don't think it will tell me anything I don't already know.
Just humor me, okay? I'd like you to go through it. Let me know if anything jumps out. I'm keen to iron out these problems as quickly as possible for you.
Sure thing. Thanks, Andrea.
No thanks needed. I've got your back, Aiden. Remember what I said when you joined the team. I won't let you down. Ackerman wouldn't let me hear the end of it.
Yeah, sounds like Casper. You know he told me the same, right? It's just tricky, what with the car and Devon poking his nose in any chance he gets.
There is a lot going on for sure, but we're a team. We'll get there. I'll have a word with the Devon. Tell him to give you some space, both on and off the track, okay?
Yeah, alright. Good luck with that.
Right, so the phone hangs up there. End of our first little phone call there. Andreo seems like a nice guy. Always good to have someone in our corner there. I mean, he says he would talk to Devon, give him some space, but you never quite know if Devon Butler. Let's have a quick look here at the further news articles from Rivals to Comrades. Calculated risks at Connorsport. So, of course, Aiden and Devon being teammates for this edition of Breaking Point, which has got a bit different to what we thought we would see. Of course, we saw at the end of the first one that we thought that we would be getting signed by one of the big three, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. In our case, we've been Red Bull because we were in the AlphaTauri the first time around. Look at the news post here. They're bringing these back, and we'll see a couple of people we recognise there. Teammate Marduk. I've got an Aiden fan account there, very nice. And there's an aarava. Aarava's in there making a little joke about the old Audi car in the last season of his My Team series. And we've got a fellow called Grand Piole fan who doesn't seem too happy. Seems like every single F1 Twitter user I've ever seen when anyone disagrees with any single opinion they have at any point in time. We'll continue pushing down here. Devon Heaven, that's a very nice, that's another good fan account. That's quite creative to me. I like what they've done here because we saw the interviews of David Coulthard also in there as well. I like these cameos of people just within the scene. I'm hoping that one day they can do this, so that one day I can get in there. Perhaps one day we'll have to wait and see what goes on in that respect. But yeah, I do like the way that they've actually made this. It's absolutely fantastic in terms of they've really gone for that Drive to Survive sort of vibe that I was missing from the first edition. And looking at our emails here, one from Andreo about moving forward, just about the problems with the car. Both myself and the management team are acutely aware of the continuing issues with the car and will be enacting a plan to address them all as quickly as possible. Getting the car up to performance and alleviating everyone's stress levels in the process is our top priority. Be in touch with each department separately so we can formulate a united strategy and hopefully we will get there. And then one from the team owner, I think that's Devon's dad, David Butler. To all at Connorsport, I appreciate this is a group message, but believe me when I say I'm talking to you each individually. It's just a thank you message, which is good of him. Because I haven't seen any of David off just yet, only to one chapter in. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of him down the line. But yeah, honestly, I like the fact that they've brought the important stuff back and they've gone for an extra vibe with this one. So I'm liking this from the first chapter. You know, I like it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this, guys. If you did enjoy this first episode, make sure to let me know down in the comments what you think, what you enjoyed about it, and what I could improve on for the next one. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe for all future content we're going through the rest of the Breaking Point series. And now you're done here, why don't you go check out that My Team video? There'll be a card once again. So until the next video, guys, thanks so much for watching. Until the next one, goodbye.